Alright you guys, how's it going? So today we're going to be doing a comparison between Auxbeam's lighting and the cheap Chinese knockoff lighting from some of the different options out there on Amazon. So this is my old 50-inch light bar that my girlfriend bought me. You know, it was around $100, and this thing has been such a love-hate relationship with this light. I loved how it looked up on the truck and everything else. It threw out decent light, nowhere near as good as this. But I just wanted to show you the build quality difference and why my hat's always off to Auxbeam for producing such great lights. So first off, you can see on this one that the lens has yellowed drastically over time, and this is even with throwing layers and layers and layers of wax over this thing to try and protect it. But it's yellowed, as you can see from the difference. And also you can see I've had to tear this thing apart numerous times to try and reseal it. All the moisture's gone out of this because it's just been in the garage out of the elements for about a month now. But yeah, I've had to reseal this thing twice now. But the biggest one right here, and this did not happen with mine, this 52-incher from Auxbeam, is the structural rigidity of this thing. As you can see right here, the actual housing cracked when I put the mounting bolts in, and that's, to me right there, that just shows that I was pretty pissed off and scared because this thing actually kind of fell on my truck when that happened. Pretty much it just let go and then cracked. And this is just from me. That's nothing to do with the light. But the other thing I love about this light is the Auxbeam is the fact that they have on all their big powerful lights and everything else, and these big ones, the higher end ones, they put these pressure release valves in here, and I love the fact that they put those in here. And it's even on which side is it on this? I know it's on here somewhere. Right there. So they put them on pretty much every light that you can buy. But yeah, like I said, you can put them on there. They put these pressure release valves on pretty much every single light that they offer, and then that just aids in moisture not getting in there. The other thing is just the LEDs themselves. As you can see, the design of the actual LED light compared to the Cree style in here, and just the size difference in the actual reflector housing, and just how much more uniform this Auxbeam looks. And I mean, if you look at price, the price difference is actually not that bad compared to from a cheap knockoff like this versus an Auxbeam. And the other thing that I noticed too was the not only the length of power cable, but also the gauge wire was considerably thicker, and which you can see just how thick this thing is right here. This thing is just a monster, and you can see how thick those power wires are. And actually this power wire is actually running all the way down to here, where it dead ends right here onto that wire harness that I have going in. And yeah, so I mean, it's just my past experiences with the cheap Chinese knockoffs and then upgrading. A huge thanks and special shout out to Auxbeam for sending me these lights for long-term testing. I can't go back now. It's they've spoiled me and showed me the good side of lighting, and without having to break the bank with going with someone like a Rigid or something. But and the other thing I noticed too, when I was resealing these things, I remember on this one, it's actually on a few of them, the threading for these bolts actually strips out extremely easily. Now I haven't had to tear this thing open, or nor do I think I need to at any point, but I'm pretty certain that the construction of this thing is built to a much higher standard and tolerance than this. I mean, yeah, does this thing get the job done? Sure, it throws out a lot of light, but I may have recorded a video in the past, but I remember distinctly, especially in Idaho where it's pitch black, where I love to use these lights. When this light was on here, when I turned it on, it not only lit this entire antenna up, but the problem that I had is it lit the entire hood up, and then that light ends up back in your face and you can't see where you're driving. So that was, beside, as far as the light output, that was the that was actually the biggest downfall on this light, was the fact that the light was actually reflecting back off of my hood into my eyes where I couldn't see where I was driving. This has such a powerful and outward throw to where it actually just throws a huge spot out in front of you. I mean, yeah, there's still a little bit of light on the hood, but I mean, I can actually see where I'm still driving. So I mean, that's just a safety concern. But yeah, you know, it's just, and then also right there you can see that power wire down there sort of hanging out, which you can't see anything except just the housings and the actual reflectors themselves. So, and you know, this is Auxbeam's 52-inch straight LED light bar. They also do make a curved variant of this, and they're both available on Amazon, which I'll throw a link to this one down below, as well as this 32-inch curved, which has been a really good light as well. Haven't had a single problem with it, but you know, the number one thing that I think that they've, you know, figured out and solved is the water issue. So you know, whatever methods that they're using to seal these things up, it's working. So the only thing that I would suggest for Auxbeam to change, and it's just a minor thing, is just the length of installation bolts, not the ones that go into the side of the light, but the ones that actually come with the bracket. I would just make those a little bit longer, because both with this one and the 42-inch that I just reviewed that I put on my girlfriend's truck, I've had to use, as you can see, different bolts because they just weren't long enough. But I mean, it's one of those generalized things. But that's the one recommendation I would make to Auxbeam, is just to make a little bit longer bolt. But the lights themselves are just solid and bulletproof. You know, everywhere I go, people are always asking me, you know, what's your light and everything else. And then, you know, the people at, you know, my classmates at school all, you know, notice the different lights. And you know, the ones that actually do have trucks and whatnot that go to my program out at Oxnard College, you know, they're looking at upgrading to Auxbeam lights as well. But so yeah, I just wanted to share this with you really quick on just how much better built and performing these lights are versus a cheap aftermarket competitor from you know, China or something like that. So, and the other thing that I noticed too is when my girlfriend ordered this for me for my birthday, I noticed that it said it was a combo light, which, as you can see, it's just an all flood or an all spot pattern, you know, and it said that it was a spot and flood. So I mean, it was theoretically, it was supposed to have the same sort of setup as this, where it has a little bit of flood right here on the end, or spot, yeah, floods, and then spots in the middle. So yeah, that's, you know, I guess that's not really the light bar manufacturer's fault. It's whoever put it up for sale on Amazon, trying to make it more appealing. But yeah, so that's just that's my 2 cents on it, and you know, why you should just spend, like, if you are looking at a light bar, just spend the extra little bit of money, because like I said, you're getting fantastic quality lights for the price you're paying on Amazon for these Auxbeam lights. And you know, I mean, yeah, this seems really appealing, but then it's going to end up doing this at some point where it's going to yellow, where it's just going to you know, basically the plastic just oxidized. And you know, I could take some rubbing compound of this if I wanted to or something, but it's just not worth it because I've got a brand new light. So thank you, Auxbeam. So yeah, save yourself a little bit of heartache by spending, you know, a little bit more money on something quality like this. I mean, I'm not saying go out and buy a Rigid or something like that, because, you know, we're not all out at the Baja 1000 racing. So but yeah, that's just my 2 cents. And then also the big benefit for me is that this one doesn't whistle. That one whistles like crazy, and it could be just due to how many fins are in this. As you can see, there's the spacing up top, and the cooling fins is much bigger than the spacing in here. They put a lot more cooling fins on this Auxbeam light, so that could be why. And like I said, when I reviewed this light initially, you can hear it. It sounds like a tennis racket kind of hanging out your window at low speeds, but at high speeds you can't even hear it anymore. But that one, man, it just everywhere you went on the freeway, and no matter how high you turn your radio up, it's always in there. So, but yeah, so I would highly recommend any Auxbeam lights, because every single light that they've sent me and that I've tested, I've had nothing but good things to say about them. And like I said, the only, you know, one thing I would change is just the length of the bolts is all. And but yeah, so, and I believe this was from I believe this light is from Ebo Trade, which is some, like I said, some off-brand Japanese light bar manufacturer. So, but you know, it served its purpose for about 3 months or so before I started noticing the water. So, but that's why I'm using these lights for a long-term durability test, to let you guys know how these lights perform over time and through the elements and everything. But yeah, so definitely check these guys out on Amazon. And like I said, I'll throw a link to this 50-inch or 52-inch and this 32-inch curved light bar down below in the description box, where you can pick this up. And this one has the Phillips bulb technology in it, and it throws out a wonderful spot beam pattern out in front of you. And yeah, so that one's really nice. And then this one's just the total overkill one, which I love. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna quit rambling now. And but yeah, like I said, I adore these Auxbeam lights, and a huge thank you to Auxbeam for providing these for testing. So yeah, take care, guys. Thank you.